Hey everyone, Professor Zeeb here, and welcome to the study guide tutorial. So I'm just going to quickly show you how the study guides work. They are pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to use the first study guide for exam 1 as an example. As you can see, it'll be on chapters 1 through 4. So here at the top, if you look here, for each exam you would need to know the key terms for each chapter. I'm going to recommend that you study those vocabulary words that are found throughout the book. Those will be heavily tested. General concepts for each chapter, including research. What that basically means is that I want you to know the research findings and the studies that are given in the book, which are often used to enrich the material and discussion. And then finally, material presented in lecture. So what this basically means is that there will probably be stuff in class that's not in the book, so make sure you study your notes, of course. Alright, so how the study guides work is I've broken them up into chapters, as you can see here, 1 through 4, and I've listed each section in the book that you need to know. If you have your book with you, this will make a lot more sense, so I'm going to recommend that you get your book now. So I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so for chapter 1, the first thing that's listed here is definition of lifespan development. Pretty obvious what I mean by that. That is laid out in the first chapter. Developmental periods on page 8. So obviously page 8, that would have that information. The next thing I want to point out is this thinking about lifespan development, which is actually a major heading in the book. This is found on page 7. So you'll notice that the section headings have a certain color and font style. You want to get very comfortable with that and familiar with that. So if I list it here on the study guide, that basically means you would need to know everything underneath that, including the subsections, until the next major heading. In this case, as you look down here, research and lifespan development, I put a parentheses including only certain subsections. What that basically indicates is that you would need to know the information directly under this major heading, but also to know the information for these specific subsections. So if I do not list a parentheses, you would need to know everything under the section, like up here. But if I do include a parentheses, that means I have left something out, and therefore you would only need to focus on these subsections in that particular section. Okay, and so I've gone through each chapter and done that for you. If you look here at the bottom, some other things for the exam are fetal psychology article, which I will be handing out in class. Make sure you read that. We will also be watching a video entitled In the Womb. So I'm going to recommend that you take notes for that and then study those notes for the exam. So the exam will consist of a combination of articles, readings, videos, and lecture notes. Another thing I want to point out is that occasionally in class I cannot get to every section on the study guide, so make sure you really read those closely and then email me if you have any questions. So let me just make that clear. If we do not cover it in class, but that section is listed on the study guide, you would still need to know it for the exam. Anything covered in class is fair game for the exams. So I'm going to recommend that you have this ready and handy when you're going through the book. Because I have eliminated entire sections, this will save you time. So the study guide is definitely your friend. So I'm going to recommend that you check those out and use those accordingly. As always, if you have questions, please just drop me a line and I'd be happy to answer those. We'll see you in class.